Hey guys! Welcome to this week's review of Candy and the Gang, Season 1, Episode 1. So, I know I've been MIA for about 2 months now. Eek! I'm sorry, guys, but I don't know, is it just me, or has this winter been. Oh, I don't know. This winter has been really, really getting to me, but thankfully we're moving into spring. Hopefully the weather is starting to warm up cuz I'm over this winter stuff. And I'm ready to get back into this whole YouTube thing and the reviews and who knows what else because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with this channel, right? Um Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Even Orange County, I have not been keeping up with any Bravo shows. I have not. And it's so weird because where I left off with Salt Lake City, it was really interesting, but for some reason, I just have no urge. I just didn't have any urge to go and watch the episodes. So not only have I not been doing reviews, I have not been watching the show. So I think I'm gonna go back. Obviously, I'm gonna go back and watch Salt Lake City and probably do like an overall kind of review of the season since I missed like 5,000 episodes. And I was interested in the storyline, so I'll circle back to that. Orange County, I mean, where I left off, maybe what we were on like episode 3, 4. Now they're probably at the reunion. I don't know. I guess I wasn't too much interested in Orange County, but I may check it out, but I'm not too sure. So, what do you guys think? Is Orange County good? Because I don't know. If it's not good and I'm not really motivated to watch it and I'm already so behind, it's like, do I really want to get started? But who knows what my mood may be, right? So, you guys tell me, is Orange County good so far? Should I watch it? And I also know, and there was also Real Housewives of Miami, and I didn't watch that. And I actually saw images of the reunion, and I was like, wait a minute, didn't this just start a day ago, and we already have a reunion? Did they release it on Peacock or something, and kind of just released all the episodes? I wasn't too sure what was going on. So it's kind of, I felt like, well, I already missed the season for Miami. So yeah, let me know, was that good? Even though I'm the one doing reviews, I'm asking you guys, are these shows good? Or is it worth checking it out? Comment down below. Anyways, wow, I'm really rusty. Well, I was rusty before, even more rustier now. So let's just get into the review. Enough of this rambling. Okay, Kandi and the Gang. I think this, from the jump, was a great idea for a reality television show. I never really watched Vanderpump Rules, but I do know that Vanderpump Rules was a hit, right? That formula. And so I thought, sure, Kandi and the Gang is following a similar kind of formula, so it should be a hit as well. And what does everybody always say about Kandi? Oh, she's not that interesting. It's more her family. It's more her friends. She uses them to kind of bring the drama and stir the pot. And I do believe that. So it makes perfect sense that she would have a reality television show, not just based off of her, but based off of her family, based off of her businesses, aka her restaurant. I think it's a great idea. And the great thing about it, Kandi may not be able to recast her family if they're boring, but if the show is centered around her restaurant, she could always fire and hire new people. So I just think it's a really great formula, and it gives her a lot of freedom and flexibility, and she's able to kind of protect her image a little bit more. Because with Portia's Family Matters, it's because Portia's show was more centered around her and her family, right? And we know, of course, these reality shows, they have to have a bit of drama, duh, else it's gonna be boring. But when it's your family, you don't want drama within your family at the end of the day. You don't want to be fighting with your sister, your ex-husband, and your aunt, your uncle. When I said fighting, I meant verbal fighting, but then I just for a second got flashbacks of that like melee of like Portia and her whole entire family kind of ganging up on Dennis and like jumping Dennis and his mom. So, although yes, Portia's show was interesting, I don't think if you're gonna bring that every season, I just don't think that is one sustainable or healthy. I just don't think that's healthy at all. But if the show is based off of with Kandi, if the show is based off of her restaurant, she can have the employees fight and make a fool of themselves, right? And then her and Todd can look good and look like business professionals, they can just come in, say a few words, look cute, and then leave the scene. And you can have the manager and the hostesses get into fights and all that jazz. So it works. So yes, let's get into the episode. So they're introducing this new guy to the restaurant. His name is Philip, I believe. For some reason, the hostess, I don't remember her name. I know this is terribly unprofessional of me as a reviewer, but I'm probably not going to learn their names. It's probably going to take maybe 2 or 3 episodes. Right? I do remember Philip, so give me credit. And I do know Kandi, and I know Todd. I know Mama Joyce, Aunt Bertha. I don't remember the other aunt's name. I'm sorry. I know Don Juan. Okay, let me not list everybody. Let me stop here. So for some reason, the hostess has a problem with Philip. And I get it. Philip kind of seems obnoxious. They did tell us he was there for 2 weeks prior, but they didn't let them know that he was going to take over as the general manager. So she probably didn't get a really great impression of him. Maybe there was pre-existing tension between the two. And I mean, I don't really know much about any of them. From what I've heard, the hostess, she seems to not be too great at her job. That's what everybody's saying. That she's rude. I'm sorry. I haven't really seen much so far, but that's what they're saying about her. So it makes sense that the general manager would have a problem with you at the end of the day. I mean, I could say, well, he is coming off a little aggressive, a little stern. But if you really don't, seeing that she doesn't have the best reputation, I can understand why. I mean, I get it. Nobody likes that manager that's like super anal about everything. But at the end of the day, this is how I feel. I respect a manager that is good at their job and efficient and actually works hard. So at the end of the day, okay, is he a little anal? Sure, right? Is he a little too much? Is he a little extra? Maybe. But if at the end of the day, it helps the restaurant be successful and come together, then why not, right? Versus the hostess who is nice when she wants to be and then has an attitude when she has an attitude. Ultimately, yes, that is Kandi's. I don't know if that's Kandi's friend or relative, but she's been with them for a long time. And so Kandi kind of feels like she owes her like a bit of loyalty because she has been loyal to her. But at the end of the day, if someone is sabotaging your business with their attitude and they're not willing to work on that when they have been addressed, then I mean, what other choice does Kandi have? You know what I mean? You can't just be rude to the customers, because without the customers, you're not going to have a business. And like, if you read the reviews for Kandi in a restaurant, Blaze. Oh, and that's another thing, because they said that Philip came from Blaze, and he did a good job with that, so they're bringing him over to Old Lady Gang. But that doesn't really make sense to me, because the review for Blaze hasn't really been that great either. And the health code violations, I'm not sure. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think that was for OLG. I think those health code violations and them failing the health inspection, I actually think that was for the Blaze restaurant. You know what I mean? But I get it for storyline. You know, they want to have this narrative that the restaurant's not doing so great, and they're kind of trying to, Kandi's saying she's trying to bring life to it, back into the restaurant, and da 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 da. So they're doing that kind of narrative of, we're gonna transform and fix the restaurant. But yeah, Blaze, I'm pretty sure Blaze was the one that failed all those health inspections and stuff. So, I mean, if you're bringing Philip from over there, I think Philip needs to stay over there. Or maybe Philip just needs to go, because what is really going on? Clearly it's the employees. So, yeah, whatever. I forgot what I was saying before. So, yeah, so Philip and the hostess, they have their little argument. It was kind of confusing to me, because this is the first episode. We're being introduced to everybody, and it's a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm just a little bit overwhelmed. So they're fighting, and I don't really know what they're fighting about. And ultimately, she starts crying, and she vents to one of the other employees. And he's like, you know what? I'm standing right here, and I can hear you. Go home. And she goes home. I'm sorry. I'm rusty here. Where are my words? Where are they? Sure. Was he being extra to send her home? I think he was. I think he was being a little bit. I mean, you guys just had an argument. I mean, let the girl vent to her employee, her fellow employee, her fellow employee. Let her vent. Let her get it off her chest. But I can also understand, you don't want to be working around someone that's going to be passive aggressive the whole day. You know, you walk past them, they're giving you the side eye, they're kissing their teeth, they're saying stuff under their breath. Like, you don't want to deal with that energy. So you might as well just send them home and tell them to, like, you need to get over it, whatever is going on. You can go and yell and cry and scream on your own time, but I don't want you around me. So it is what it is with that. So moving on, Kandi meets with the Old Lady Gang, and besides, the other two sisters are in their 80s, and they look great. They look like they're in their late 60s. Okay? So kudos to them. Kandi also looks really, really good. She really does. Todd too. What the hell? You know what? Todd looks very, very handsome as well. We gotta add some positivity in there. We can't just be negative, negative, negative. I try. So yeah, so she meets with her aunts, and she talks to them about the restaurant, and she gets their feedback. Right? But then Kandi also mentions that she just kind of wanted to use her aunts and her mom's recipes and their image, but she didn't really want them involved in the restaurant. And I think that's a real unfair expectation of them. Unless maybe Kandi had that conversation initially of what she expected of them. But I don't know. If it was me, if you're going to name a restaurant after me and you're going to use my recipes, of course I'm going to be invested in the success of the restaurant, especially if you're using my image. You know, I don't want you to slap my image and my pictures on something that is crap. You know what I mean? I don't want you going around telling people that this is my recipe and then people go there and they eat the food and the food is crap. Like, of course not. Of course her mom and her aunt wouldn't want that. Of course they're going to be invested in the restaurant if you make them think that you're naming the restaurant. I mean, yeah, you're kind of naming the restaurant after them and you're using the recipe. So, of course, they're gonna want to be involved. Right? So, I think that was kind of unfair, but then I also understand that they are a bit older, so you don't want them stressed out or anything like that. And restaurants can be stressful. She doesn't want them in the kitchen. And I watched a lot of Kitchen Nightmares, okay? So I'm low key an expert on restaurants and restaurant management, okay? And from my experience of watching Kitchen Nightmares, I know it can, when you have the owners and stuff going in the kitchen and they don't really know what they're doing, like, yes, sure, maybe Mama June and her sisters know how to cook, but that doesn't mean that they know how to run a kitchen in a restaurant. So when you have people coming into the kitchen and they don't really know what they're doing, and kitchens usually should have structure to them, right? And procedure and order. And so when you have someone that comes in and they don't know all that and they're kind of all over the place, that can mess up the kitchen, and mess up the workers, right? And you go in there thinking you're trying to help, or you go in there thinking you're trying to show the employees or the chefs how to cook and how to do the dishes, but really you're making more of a mess. And as we all know, Mama June, and it seems like with the sisters as well, they have, I wouldn't say they have a temper, right? But when they lose it, they threaten violence. Okay, they're threatened to beat someone's butt. One of the aunts, she was like, "Don't mess with me, else I'll throw you over the bridge," or something of that sort. So, I don't know, because we know that, I mean, from watching Kitchen Nightmares, the kitchen can be a very stressful place. So, the last thing you want is someone in there that doesn't really know what they're doing, that's not a professional chef, that's throwing everybody off, and they have a short fuse, and they're threatening to beat your ass and throw you over here and throw you over there. Okay, you don't want that. So I do agree they need to stay out of the kitchen. Right? But at the same time, Kandi, you have to represent. Okay? You can't make them look bad. And so if you're not running things right, I don't blame them for saying, hey, you need to change things. And I understand that Kandi is busy. So is Todd. So obviously they can't be in the restaurant all the time. But if you're going to step back in that way, you have to make sure that you have employees that really care about the success of the restaurant. And sorry, I don't really know this lady. Okay, but the hostess, she doesn't really seem too much invested in the success of the restaurant. Okay, and if you don't have someone there to keep her in check, then they're gonna end up scaring away all your customers and your business is gonna fail. So Todd is right when he was like, there's no point having someone that's loyal to you if they're just going to screw you over, because at the end of the day, that's not really loyalty. If how can you say someone's loyal to you, but then they kind of do things to sabotage your business? Okay, so Kandi has her little backyardigans party. Okay, with I guess she's calling it a family reunion. They have it at the back of the restaurant, which was, I don't know, but it was weird to me because it's like you have the restaurant was open, and then at the back of the restaurant you have a party going on. Was it just family and people that work there, or was it open to the customers, or like I was just really confused as to what that was. But you know what, I'm overthinking it. It was a party. Okay, it was a party. It was weird, but it was a party, and I guess it was a way to introduce everybody in the cast to the audience and have everybody kind of mingling with each other. I don't know, because there is a lot of people. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, and then every new person that they meet, they have to freeze frame and then list all these things about them and their age and their name. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know anybody's name. I only know Philip. That's the only name I've learned this episode. Let me wait. Do 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 do. Yeah, Philip is the only new person's name that I've learned. That's terrible. I know. Wait a minute. I have one. Dominique, and she is the dancer. I love her voice. It's very raspy and high pitched. I like it. It's cute. What happened at this party? I don't know. It was just all over the place. Then you have some random guy, and of course, I don't know his name. All I know about him is that he was wearing a toupee. Right? He comes in to the party and he's handing out flyers for his food. And then the next scene, we have Kandi talking to him like, "Oh, we really missed you. We would love to have you come back." And it's kind of like, what? You're going to have this person come back who is handing out flyers for their business, right? And I guess I don't think it's a restaurant. I think it's one of those things where you can order on like those food delivery apps. I don't know if he makes it at home and he delivers it to, like, he delivers it himself, or he uses a third party app. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but wouldn't that be a conflict of interest? I don't know. Right? And I'm not saying you can't be friends or have an employee that makes food on the side, but for them to come to your party and hand out flyers, I mean, that's a little corny, that's a little unprofessional, and maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, but if I was Kandi, I would not be asking for this person to come back. Now, they seem like they have a little bit of personality, right? That they may be a bit fun for TV. That's why she's asking for him to come back. Let's be real here. But that's not professional at all, and that's tacky. Right? Like at the end of the day, why can't you just network old school style? Like, why do you need a prop? You know, Kenya Moore hair care. I'm sorry. That's what it gave to me. Okay. It just reminded me of that. Like, why can't you just go around and say, "Hey, how are you? And what do you do?" "Well, I have this egg roll business. Yeah, check out my Instagram." Like, why can't you do that? Like, save the environment, okay? Why are you printing out all these pieces, like, all these flyers and, like, come on, we're in the, I don't know what century we're in, but we have Instagram. Okay? I mean, the egg rolls did look good. I'm not gonna lie. They did look good. And yeah, I'll have one. If you want to ship it, if you want to ship an egg roll over here, I'll have one. But okay, whatever. And so we're introduced to this new guy. Oh, I lied. I remember another person's name. I think his name was Richard, Ricardo, Richardo, something along those lines. Okay. Yeah, he was a host at Blaze, and they're bringing him in because, you know, he seems like he has a little personality. You can tell. Obviously, there are more people working at Old Lady Gang than what we're seeing on camera. Those that are on camera definitely are the one they've been chosen because they have the best personality for the show, I guess. So, yeah. So that's probably why they're bringing him over from Blaze. Cool, whatever. Yeah, so what else happened at this party beside those couches? Yeah, not much. It was a cute little get together. Um, yeah. Moving on to the next, I don't know if it was the next day, but moving on to the next scene. So, yeah, they're at the restaurant because the show is called Kandi and the Gang, and the majority of the show takes place at the restaurant. So they're at the restaurant. And the hostess, her name is, oh my gosh. What is her name? I know it starts with an S. It's Sharita? Sharita? You know what? I'm not even going to guess. But the hostess, she's late. You know, everybody's kind of upset with her. Philip's upset with her. Don Juan is upset. But you know what? She came right on time. And I know they say if you're on time, if you're early, you're on time. And if you're late, if you're on time, you're late. I don't know, right? But I guess yes, you should not come like 0 seconds before the restaurant opens. So yeah, that's not too professional, but I can relate to the always being late thing. It's a bad habit. It really is. It really is, and I should work on that. And so should I don't remember her name, but you know what? She's not that late, okay? She's on time. On time is on time. Okay, and she she stepped into that restaurant and she put her bag to the side and she was ready to work. She wasn't like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, or she didn't go over, like sometimes you come into work, you're not gonna clock in right away, but she was ready to go, so give her some credit. Anyway, that's terrible. But okay, and of course, Philip doesn't like her, so he's already has a problem. And whatever. So it's very busy. They have the line is going around the building, so that's great. And listen. Listen, the people there probably know that they're filming a show. They probably figure that Kandi and her mom and her aunts are going to be there, so that's probably part of the reason why it's so busy. Okay. No, but that's great. That's great. Wonderful. Wonderful. Have any of you guys been to Old Lady Gang? How's the food? How's the atmosphere? How is the servers and the hostess and the bartender? Have you seen the people? Have you seen these people in real life? Like, do they actually work there? And what has been your experience with them? Just curious. Yeah. So so basically the power goes out, right? And I don't know. I haven't been to a ton of restaurants in my lifetime, but I've never been to a restaurant and the power went out. That's kind of weird. And that's bad luck, but then we find out that happens all the time. More than, I don't know, if the power goes out in your restaurant more than once, okay, maybe not more than once. If I own a restaurant and the power goes out more than 3 times, right? And by the way Todd was talking about it and the rest of the staff were talking about it, it seems like this has happened more than 3 times. I would probably get a generator. You need to get a generator, okay? And it's like, I'm not from Atlanta, okay? So I don't know how it is there, but is that normal? Does the power just go out for no reason? That's not good. Like, especially for a restaurant, you have, ignore that notification. Especially for a restaurant, you have food, you have fridges and freezers, and like, what happens when the power goes out? You mean you just have these things kind of just sitting there, not being refrigerated? All these meats and stuff, like, and the power was out for what, 3 hours? They say the power was not gonna come back on for like another 3.5 hours. Now, I don't know. I know a little bit about the danger zone. And if you guys know about the danger zone, it's basically how long food can sit out before harmful bacteria starts to multiply and people can get sick from that. And considering that, well, I don't know if it was OLG, but I'm pretty sure it was Blaze. But considering that one of Kandi's restaurants already failed a health inspection, right? And I think one of the things cited was like food contamination and all that jazz. And now we have the power going out. And it seems to be a regular occurrence. I don't know. Like watching this episode didn't really make me want to go to OLG Gang. Well, not OLG Gang, because that would be old. That would be old lady gang gang. So OLG. That doesn't make me want to go to OLG. That doesn't make me want to eat at OLG. I don't know. Like, I understand this show is supposed to be entertaining, but the show should also be promotion for your business. And I think people are going to eat there regardless, just because it's Candy's restaurant and it's on reality television. So people are just going to check it out. Like, I'm not going to lie, like if I was in Atlanta and I was around the corner and I saw it, I may be like, okay, you know what, let me check it out. Even though I just said I wanted this episode did not make me want to eat there. Out of curiosity, because I've seen it on TV, I would check it out. But I mean, overall, I didn't get too much of a positive vibe from this restaurant or its workers, right? Like, there was one point where the bartender, I mean Dominique, the guy that, I don't know his name, I don't even know his position, right? But he's into Dominique and they have the little romance going, because of course you gotta have that. I mean, they do look cute together, so I'm here for it, right? And then we have the chef, and they're like just sitting, taking a break, drinking. I know realistically you are probably drinking alcohol, but I don't think if you work in a restaurant and they have a bar, like, yes, you probably are drinking alcohol. I just don't think it's a good look, though. I just don't think it's a good look to have the staff drinking on the job, especially around other customers and in front of the cameras. You know what I mean? And it's like the middle of the day. I just don't think it's the greatest look. Usually on your lunch break you have a sandwich. You may have a soup, you have some rice, I don't know, but like a shot, a cocktail, I don't know. I don't know if that's the greatest look. And then when Philip is like, "Yo, chef, why don't you go and see what you can do in the kitchen?" Like, "Yo, I don't know his name, but manager guy, why don't you help me figure things out? Because there's no power, and how the hell are people going to pay?" You know what I mean? Like, we got to figure this out. You could tell, like, Philip is stressed out here, right? And they're just like, it's just another Saturday. This is normal. Like, that's crazy to me. They definitely should have a generator. And I know, yes, there's probably a lot of red tape and it's annoying and blah blah blah, but Kandi is a gazillionaire, okay? Okay, like, figure it out. Like, this is not, how is this happening multiple times? This is weird. But okay. Like, this is how I feel, right? Like, I understand this is reality television, and I think you can have one employee that's kind of a slacker. Maybe you can have two, but everybody is a slacker. everybody doesn't care at all? Really? It's just one person that wants to do their job? And I'm supposed to look at that on television and be like, yeah, I want to go there? No, like, this is not a good look. And at the end of the day, Kandi is successful, so who am I to tell her what she needs to do? Da, 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 da. Clearly, it is working for her. But this whole loyalty thing and da 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 da, I'm not saying you can't have loyalty, but what's the point of keeping people around that, to be honest, it doesn't really seem they have any loyalty to you? If I'm gonna be real, it doesn't seem like, but I guess maybe their thinking is we are filming a reality television show. So, yeah, we're gonna put these people on screen. They're probably not the best workers, but they are the most entertaining, and we'll have the our employees that actually are hardworking and actually do a good job, off camera. So I'm hoping that's what it is, because yeah, I'm not impressed. So this is the first episode. Overall, I mean, I can't really judge whether or not I like the show yet based off of one episode, but I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed. Like, I was expecting a bit more. And like I said, I think I'm judging too early, but nobody in the cast seems likable to me. I don't know. Maybe when you put work into the like occasion the you when you mix work into it, maybe there's like this, like, personally, I just don't like slackers. I don't like slackers at work. I'm not saying you have to kill yourself and give 110%. That's I'm not going to say that's stupid, but usually that's not a great idea. Okay, usually that's not a great idea, especially if it's not like your career or your dream job. Like, you should not be killing yourself for minimum. Well, they're not getting minimum wage, but you know what I'm trying to say, especially if the pay is not that great. You know, I think you should give 75, maybe. 75% is good. And it's like, if everybody else around you gives 75%, then everybody doesn't have to work that hard. And the business runs smoothly, right? If everybody's doing their part. But it's just so annoying working with people that just they're giving 10%. And if everybody is giving 10%, usually you'll find you'll have like one or two people giving like 150% to make up for those people that are like giving 10%, in order to have the business run smoothly. So, yeah, so maybe that's just a certain bias within myself, right? So I will acknowledge that. So when I see them, and like I'm getting that vibe, it's just like no one's coming off as likable at all, or appealing. And Kandi, I do like Kandi, but I don't know. Is it just me? But is Candy's energy a little bit off? Maybe she's a bit nervous, because it's her own show. She is a producer on it, so the stakes are a little bit high. But I don't know. She seems a bit uptight. But yeah, I mean, they're all new to it. It's their like first, well, not the first time on, well, for some of them, right? So yeah, the show may get better. I'm still rooting for it. I hope it is successful. Like, it has all the makings to be successful, right? And I think this would be a great transition for Kandi, because I do like Kandi, but I think her time is kind of up on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So if she can find something else, because I still want to see her on TV. It's not like I want her to go away and I never want to see her again. No, I still want to see her and Todd and her family. I do, right? So I am rooting for the show to work. And for the trailer for the season, it does seem interesting. It does seem like there is a lot of drama and stuff like that. You know, I would just give a bit of a warning to Kandi. Like, make sure, yes, give us the drama and all that jazz, but give us a little bit of food porn as well. Like, I mean, they did show us the chicken in the fryer, but I don't know. That didn't really make my mouth salivate, They just showed they just showed images of the fryer and like things being deep fried. And trust me, I love fried food. I do. I am trying to be healthier, but I do love fried food. But that's just, that doesn't make me hungry. That doesn't make the food look good. So yeah, and then, oh yeah, what else did they show? They showed a bunch of lemon and limes in a cup, right? Because I guess Dominique was making a cocktail. And then that reminded me of the whole thing. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was this whole controversy because someone left a review and they complained about being charged for ice. I think like they were charged 50 cents for ice. This was at Blaze though. So I don't know. That just reminded me of that. So yeah, I mean, you have to make your restaurant look good. Ultimately you have to make other people, like, you don't have to do anything. Don't listen to me. But it's just a suggestion. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm in a sour mood today. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, this is my first review back in a long while, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And what do you guys think of this episode? Is it just me? Am I tripping? Comment down below. Tell me how you feel. Like and subscribe. You know the drill. Bye, guys.